the day. Please don't be late. Call your friends, I'll call my friends. Let's go and be changed. TMP is doing the most. TMP is doing the most. It's the time of the day. Please don't be late. Call your friends, I'll call my friends.
Hello everybody, welcome back to The Miracle Perspective, and this is the TMP Legends Show. Guys, we're just going to take a very different route today because we're going to talk about a very popular topic and a very sensitive topic, particularly because there's many protests and many acts of fire and fury in people's hearts, and that is the issue of racism. In America, for the past few weeks, there's been protests for Black Lives Matter, and there's a lot of controversy behind that issue. So it became an issue of concern to me that I wanted to get people's opinions, because particularly, I'm going to fight with a lot of people with regards to this topic of racism, because I push towards the other side of racism. I don't push towards the popular view that most black people have with regards to racism. And hey, kill me for that. But I have my reasons, and I'm going to tell you some other time. But today I had to get someone who's a very close friend of mine, and we've been knowing each other for quite some time. He's a white young man in South Africa, and he was brave enough. That's why I consider him a legend for allowing to take this interview to do something such heavy and difficult as talking about racism as a white young man, a white man with privilege, right? It's difficult. So he agreed to do this interview, and I'm talking about Minnaar Foulard Jr. Hey, my bro, welkom naar The Miracle Perspective, man. Hoe gaan dit?
Dankie, Miracle. I'm very happy to be here, man.
Hey man, ek is baie bly dat jy na my uitnodiging toegekom het. Dankie man.
Oh, your Afrikaans is perfect.
100%. I'm winning. So to those that didn't understand what I said, I was saying I'm happy that he accepted my invitation to The Miracle Perspective. So yeah, you're welcome, Buti. I hope you're well. Let's dive straight into the topic of the day, the issue of racism.
Yeah.
As a white young man in South Africa, man, how do you feel about racism? What's happening? What's your feeling about racism?
Well, Miracle, I can give you some background first to explain where I come from and what my upbringing was like. So my father is a soldier. I came from not very rural or anything, but it was a military base that we grew up in. And I've had many black friends. I only had black friends. When I went to school, I had some white friends. You were also one of my friends at school. Before you bullied and after. Yeah, I always had black friends around me. My parents actually installed in me a very strict system where I look at everybody the same, you know. And sometimes I wonder if what I'm thinking or what I'm doing, is this actually the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? Am I being racist in this thing that I'm doing? And I'm always aware of certain things. Yeah. So, yeah, racism in South Africa, I don't know, man. I've really felt recently, especially in this time, that the world is going crazy, not just South Africa, but we are also very influential in other countries' systems. So, for instance, if racism is an issue in America, we'll feel it here in South Africa, definitely. I have white friends who are definitely very racist, and I can say that they are quite racist. But I know that it's wrong, and I know it has to change. Yeah, so I'm quite sad in my heart that it's an issue in South Africa still. Yeah.
So tell me, man, what do you think are the effects of racism, particularly on black people and on white people? In your view, what are the effects that are there on white and black people?
So I think it's very easy for white people to move out of the country. Just decide, okay, enough's enough, packing our bags, we're leaving. And I think to myself, hey man, that's such a wrong mentality, because you are not part of the solution, you're part of the problem. By leaving, you're part of the problem. We need more pride in our country. We need people standing up for each other, not just because they are the same color. We need people who stand up for, I need to stand up for you, you need to stand up for me. And it's not about this. It's never about this. It's about me. I'm a person. I live the same life. I don't live the same life as you live, but I have a life. You have a life. Both of our lives matter, yes. And the thing about the movements and stuff that we get in the world today, I'm not a politician, so I tend to stay completely away from politics, and I'm okay with politics. I understand what the reason for it is. I understand that it's important, but I think a lot of things have to change, definitely. Yeah. And the effects of racism, I don't think we'll ever be able to completely understand it. Before the show, I explained to you, I feel like it's a bomb, and the after effects of the bomb is still in our lives. And no matter what, it's still going to be there unless we confront it, unless we decide, hey, we see this as a problem. We're going to decide what to do with it. We're going to find a solution, get people who can find the solution and try and fix it.
So, as you're talking about solutions, what do you think you, as a white folk, is your responsibility to this issue of racism?
I feel that it's very important to talk about stuff like this, because too few conversations happen between white and black. And me talking to you as a white South African and telling you, listen, man, what is going on? What can we do? How do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? And then you asking me the same thing. And it's all about understanding, I think, because we misunderstand each other a lot. And that's also, where wisdom comes in. Wisdom is understanding, who you are and who I am, and how we different, but how we still are the same in many ways. Yeah.
So looking at the black man, for me, in your view as a white man, what do you think I should do to try and help solve this issue?
So, as I was saying, talking about it is for me very important, because I'm quite a fan of your show, The Miracle Perspective, and that's exactly what we need, I think. We need more perspectives, because there are too many white people who do not allow black people into their lives, in their personal lives. And there are also many black people who do not allow white people into their lives. And the reason for that, or the effect of that, is that they don't have perspective, right? So there's a lack of understanding in that way. And I feel if we speak about it, it's in the open, then we can learn from each other. We can, I don't have all the answers, but together we can figure something out. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And that's also, I think, a big problem. We don't have this. I've never heard of this. This is the first time that somebody has been discussing this kind of thing like we are, which I'm quite happy about. It's quite cool.
I'm also happy, man, because for me, thinking about it practically in my head, I feel like we as black people, we are pushed to take this issue of racism at face value. And this notion of black people can't be racist, I think it's rubbish, man. And I think we are sort of like neglecting our responsibility to uplifting ourselves in the name of we have been oppressed by the white person. which in turn, for me, feels like we are putting a lot of pressure on white people to help us instead of us also trying to help ourselves. What do you think about that?
No, that's absolutely true. I 100% agree with you in that sense. And I know my failures and I know my flaws. And so if I share that with you, you can also see that, hey, this is maybe something that I must take into account, and then I can act accordingly. And then also vice versa. You tell me sensitive things about yourself, I won't do that again. If it happens in conversation, for example, certain words, certain, habits that we all have, some things just hurt each other, just not even knowing about it, And I also feel like it's very important to mix and mingle, because, in a perfect world, there's no such thing as race, but we're not in a perfect world. But we still need that sort of mentality, white, black, we're all human. We're all human. We all live in the same world, and we can all be beneficial towards each other. So, yeah.
So, last question. What do you think? All right, how do I phrase this? I want to ask a question with regards to privilege, white privilege versus, okay, we don't have black privilege apparently, but white privilege. Do you think you had more privilege? Let's say, for example, when it came to school, do you think you had more privilege as opposed to a black person? Did you experience yourself as a superior person at school, being benefited or being advantaged by the system as a white boy?
This might shock you, but I definitely think so, yes. Because as you remember, I was one of the teacher's favorites, So I did get a lot more attention than other kids in the school. And I don't think that teacher would have found a favorite boy in a black kid. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. So the fact that I was white gave me an advantage that black kids didn't have, because the teacher liked me because I was one of their favorites. But they would never have a black favorite kid because it was their mindset. I don't want to say they were racist. It's not for me to judge, but their mindset was wrong, their mindset. So, yeah.
No, amazing, man. I'm happy that at least I got your perspective as a white person, because most of these issues, we talk about them as black people, and we end up just revolving around circles. So such discussions, as you said, they are very helpful to actually help us both come to a solution. I mean, because we've been talking about this for a while, man. I think it's about time where we try and put this behind us and start living life peacefully together.
Yeah, definitely, man.
So thank you. And I think this is the beginning of this conversation about racism. I'm going to try and get someone who is in the political sphere, or anyone who's black and who has views on racism. And then we're going to dive deeper into this, and hopefully we can create a fruitful conversation out of this. But as for today, thank you so much for joining me on the channel, and thank you for being a legend to take on such a hard and hot topic. You are really a legend, man. You are a legend.
Thank you, Miracle. And
thanks. Yeah.
Izandla Zia Gezana.
Of course, Izandla Ziyagezana. Yep. What does that mean?
It means the one hand washes the other.
You are key. You see, we're getting somewhere here, guys. We're getting somewhere. No, my bra, ek is baie bly dat jy het this interview gedoen met my. Dankie, man.
I'm very happy, Miracle. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, brother. It's finished.
Miracle perspective is in the perspective. It's finished.